Why would I resign? I am the MD. I run the company. मेरी उम्र भी नहीं हुई है अभी सत्संग में जाऊँ के पास ना करूँ. When I need you the most, then you don't enjoy my degrees of confidence. You don't have a spine.
Moneycontrol had an explosive interview with Ashneer Grover, the embattled founder and MD of BharatPe. Remember, he was sent on leave a few weeks back, and now it looks like things have gotten so bad between him and the company that he's probably not going to come back. I, in fact, have Priyanka Sahai as well as Sriram, who spoke to Ashneer. Priyanka and Sriram, this is perhaps the most explosive interview of Ashneer that I've read so far. He hasn't held back. This was classic Ashneer at his candid best. Initially, he was calm, and then you saw that Shark Tank wala Ashneer, who's all angry and emotional and combative. So Priyanka, I'm going to come to you. Tell me what is the big news? I think the fight between him and Suhail, him and the board, is finally out in the open, right?
That's absolutely right, Chandra, and there's no denying the fact that Ashneer has just come out, gloves are off, and he has no qualms against talking against the board or the CEO of the company, which happens to be Sameer Suhail. Now, even as that happens, one thing which is very interesting to be noted is that he has categorically stated that Suhail happened to be one of his confidants. He was the one who hired him as the CEO. He was last year roped in as the chief executive with his blessing. He's garnered over 18 odd crore through ESOPs in the last round. But despite all of that, he started siding with the investors as of now. And that is what broke perhaps his confidence in the executive.
I have a right to nominate who sits as my nominee on the board. And in the last month, I have seen him operate as a puppet of the investors, not as my nominee. And therefore he doesn't enjoy my confidence. In the last round, he sold 11 crores worth of ESOP. I have created value for him, real value, not paper value. After having done everything and giving someone full degrees of freedom to operate, if you operate in a manner and side with the investors, when I need you the most, then you don't enjoy my degrees of confidence. You don't have a spine. And why should the puppet of investor be my nominee on the board?
In fact, Priyanka, I think we also reported that he has written to the board seeking Suhail Sameer's removal as director. Now, I don't know if the board is going to entertain that, but Sriram, you guys spoke to him for 80 minutes. So what was his mood? Is he back to being very combative? Because in between people thought, he's become quite calm and, measured. But he's clearly back to his fighting form, right?
Chandra, it was quite interesting. So the interview started out with Ashneer being quite calm and measured and speaking almost like a banker would at an earnings call of a public listed company. It was after we got into say question 4, 5, when he started talking about the board, that's when the Ashneer of old came out. The accusations were back, the direct threats were back. He said things like, anybody who says anything unsubstantiated against me, I will take away their house, car, and everything they own. Nobody but a combative Ashneer Grover will say this. His tone changed significantly through the course of the interview.
Why would I resign? What have I done to resign? So it's like execution before trial. My simple point is, I am the MD. I run the company. If the board thinks I don't need to be the MD, someone else should run the company, please put my 4,000 crores on the table and take the key from me.
Yeah, and I think people will relate more to that Ashneer, than the other calmer version, at least the calmer version who's been trying to strike this conciliatory note in the last few days. But this interview has shown that the gloves are off, the fight is out in the open. We don't know what's going to happen next. But interestingly, Ashneer has also named his price to leave the company. Very bold statement again, Sriram. He said, if I am not the MD, then give me my 4,000 crore rupees and I will hand the key to you. Either I'm the MD and shareholder, or I will sell my stake. Sriram, but what is this 4,000 crore number? Where is he getting it from?
Chandra, in fact, the 4,000 crore and the 6 billion number caught us off guard for a moment, because the 6 billion number has been mentioned here and there in the last couple of days with nothing to back it up. When we asked him, he says BharatPe's was valued at 3 billion last year, and that was a round where their March numbers were taken into account. After that, in the last 1 year, their merchant business has grown by 50%. They've got a banking license. They've launched postpay and the 12% club. They've forayed into entirely new segments. Because of this, he thinks the company is now worth 6 billion. And not just that, he said if he were to return to the company, he could comfortably and easily raise money at 6 billion today. He's absolutely confident. Which is why if he were to leave, he categorically said that he wants his 9.5% to be sold at a valuation of 6 billion, which comes to 4,000 crores. So he says, give me 4,000 crores and I'm gone.
Yeah, in fact, the other interesting part is, this confidence is coming even as, there's a forensic audit on at the company. In fact, we've accessed the initial preliminary investigation by Alvarez, where they have pointed to irregularities. PwC is now doing an audit. Moneycontrol itself has reported that, there are governance lapses in the way they were doing accounting and the way they were doing billing. But Ashneer Grover has denied everything. He's saying, I am not the guy in the audio clip. That is not me. That is fake. Other charges are fake. The fraud charges are fake. In fact, he's hired 3 law firms to defend himself and possibly counter any move by the board. So, Priyanka, what are the main findings so far in the report, and what's going to happen next in this whole BharatPe saga, drama, whatever you want to call it?
So, well, we have access to some of these preliminary reports. So, Chandra, these reports very clearly point out towards financial irregularities. Now, we don't know if these are fraud, if these were done as per the company laws, but definitely there were kickbacks that were provided to certain companies. Now, some of these companies belong to the relatives of the founder in question, as well as his wife, Madhuri Jain, who was also a very, very senior executive at the company, used to control finance for the company. So, these are some of the allegations that have come out in public through documents that we have access to. The documents have also pointed out that there were kickbacks that were provided to, hiring the executives. The founders actually received kickbacks for hiring senior executives. So the incentives, the money that actually goes to third-party hiring agencies were pocketed by some of these people. So these are some of the clear allegations that are against the founder at this point in time.
If you want to buy me off, you have to buy me off at the fair market value. No? It doesn't say at the last round value, right? So in my view, the fair market value of the company is $6 billion. Either I'll run the company or they'll have to buy me off. There's no third option. Karanjawala are litigation lawyers. I've also appointed Mr. Ritin Rai, right, who's a corporate lawyer. I've also appointed a firm in Bombay by the name of Meraki Law. So these are the 3 set of lawyers who are representing me, irrespective of whatever they come out with and or do or try to arm twist. My 9.5% equity they cannot touch. It's cast in stone. It's with me. I've got the shares. They can do nothing.
Right. This was an 80-minute interview that Priyanka Sriram did. A lot of very tough questions on charges of fraud, charges of siphoning of money, what he's going to do next, what's going to happen to BharatPe. But I really like the last question at the end. And, this is something that you guys should listen to as well. So Priyanka and Sriram asked him, Ashneer, what are you doing to control your temper? And, in terms of anger management, are you doing Vipassana? And you should listen to what he said, because this is such a classic Ashneer answer.
I am a commercial person. I am not in a retirement mode. ठीक है, मेरी उम्र भी नहीं हुई है अभी कि मैं सत्संग में जाऊं और मैं विपासना करूं और ये सब करूं. I think there is an age when you are going towards your deathbed, and that's when you do all of these things. As far as I am concerned, I have a lot more to build in front of me, right? I would rather spend my time understanding the market and what needs to be built next. What is the next $1 billion idea? Who are the people I want to work with now? What kind of people I want to work with now? How do I create a perfect organization where all of these board politics and nothing ever hampers the values that we create is the right kind of things to spend my time on.
That's it then on this leg of Moneycontrol's continuing coverage on BharatPe. We will keep you abreast, but this is a very important issue, not just for BharatPe, the fintech ecosystem, but the Indian startup ecosystem per se, because it has raised questions on how funders behave, how investors behave, on how culture is being built at some of these unicorns and, companies valued at billions of dollars. So hopefully this will not take the entire ecosystem with it. But Priyanka and Sriram will be keeping a close eye on all things BharatPe, all things Ashneer Grover.